Everybody says they want freedom, but not everybody knows how to get that freedom. As I talked about in my last videos, freedom is a state of being, a level of self-awareness. To me, that's where true freedom resides. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about some different habits that you can do to create that freedom within. Starting from your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. All different ways to access freedom that start from yourself. And when you can learn to access freedom through these different ways, you'll have more freedom in your life. Now for me, a good way to practice mental freedom starts when I get up in the morning. In today's world, our attention is the number one thing that everybody is trying to grab and take hold of. So having the practice of not looking at your phone for just the first 30 minutes to hour of when you wake up in the morning can be very powerful, because it doesn't allow you to get distracted by outside thoughts from the world. It allows you to kind of settle into your day. So as long as practicing maybe a form of stillness in the morning, just to allow yourself to gather and kind of align yourself to start your day with a more clear mind. Because if you start your day with a lot of thoughts from outside forces, you're just going to get off on the wrong foot. And then this leads into your emotional state. If you're looking at your phone right in the morning, you might see something that triggers you, and then all these emotions start to flood, and then you can attach to the emotion and you start creating stories around this, and then your whole day just kind of gets shifted from one thing to another. So for me, learning to not look at my phone in the morning has been a big help. It's something I'm still working on. A lot of us have become so addicted to our phones, but the less we can be on it, the more freedom we can actually create within ourselves, because we're also not playing into those quick dopamine hits, which can drain our energy and emotionally dysregulate us. So as I said, the next thing is, your emotions. Learning to regulate your emotions can create a lot of freedom. Learning to not react, but to respond to situations. And a lot of times this takes practice and self-awareness through pausing and taking a moment to breathe. When you're in a certain situation with another person or just by yourself, and something, may trigger you or start to feel notice that emotion, bubbling up inside. So having a practice of contemplation and stillness allows you to become more familiar with how your emotions move through your body, and you can learn to respond and not react to situations, because when you take that moment and pause to respond, you are normally going to be more clear and concise in your response and more grounded. And to me, being very grounded creates more freedom, because if you're very reactive and highly emotional, you're not being your true self. You're being controlled by these stories and thoughts that aren't really yours. So having a practice where you sit still for 5 minutes and allow yourself to see your thoughts and emotions arise and notice them and notice the stories that are behind them and not attaching to them can help with that emotional regulation and not reacting and responding. And the next thing for freedom that comes from within is your physical freedom and your lifestyle. You don't have to become the most jacked and physically fit person, but having, some sort of fitness practice or physical practice is not only good for your body, but also good for your mind. Whether that's just going for a walk, a few times a week or every morning, or just getting out in nature can really be good for you physically and mentally, and allow that stagnation of energy that can get built up within inside of us to exit our body and clear our mind. A clearer mind creates for a better stream of thoughts, and again allows us to be more grounded in how we can move through our daily lives and see and navigate through our emotions and not get attached to our stories. I also forgot to mention, even writing in a journal, which doesn't have to be daily, but if you feel yourself getting, emotionally dysregulated or overthinking or just kind of stuck in a rut, get in a journal and just writing your thoughts out can be very helpful and gets it out of your system and clears it out, gets the stagnation, the energy moving. It's pretty amazing how powerful it is. Just can be writing just for even 5 minutes. Just really, it's just moving the energy. That's really all it is. And then I talked a little bit in my last video about your beliefs, and I talked about eating and stuff. But yeah, eating healthy or but also enjoying your life and eating things that bring you joy, bring you freedom, and also help with your well-being. If you feel good and healthy, that is going to create freedom because it allows you to do things that you love. And when you feel good, it just brings this, vibrant aura to you. And lastly, you have the spiritual aspect of freedom. And a habit for that I like to do is like a sitting practice, not necessarily meditation, but just sitting in silence and not allowing my thoughts to control. If I have a thought come up, I try to disengage from it and just really be present in my seated position. And this also allows me to kind of get in tune with my body, how my emotions can populate and my thoughts can populate. And the more you can get in tune with your body, the more you can be in control of it to a certain degree. And you have this more fluidity of how you go about, your day and your life. And also, just having a moment in the morning, of gratitude, and a night of contemplation of maybe how your day went and where you're at in your life and where you want to be, and just building that, connection, with source, with God. And that's and trusting, in that, in yourself, that doing those things help create freedom in my life, and I think they can help create freedom in your life as well. So that's all I have to say. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, I'll be back with another video and another topic. If there's something that you would like me to talk about, please leave a comment. Or if you have something you'd like to add to this discussion, I'd love to hear it. Otherwise, as I said, have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll be back with another one.